A court decision in Warren County that is drawing widespread condemnation. It involves a state Supreme Court judge who late this afternoon gave the green light for a controversial herbicide to be introduced into Lake George waters. Dan Levy was inside the courtroom. He joins us now live from Lake George. Dan, good afternoon to you.
Mark, good afternoon. Today's court decision in state Supreme Court just down the road here didn't just make waves here in beautiful Lake George. It created an absolute tsunami of anger and outrage on both sides of Lake George, all up and down the shores of this pristine 32-mile-long lake. It's all about an ongoing battle against milfoil in this lake. We should point out that they've had an underwater milfoil problem in this lake for decades. But up until now, they've been addressing it by hand harvesting that invasive plant. Now the Lake George Park Commission will be able to move forward with their plan to introduce the herbicide Procelicor into the water. Stakeholders have been fighting this project for several years. They've gathered thousands of petition signatures and they've filed multiple lawsuits. But today, Judge Robert Mueller lifted the final temporary restraining order on the project, indicating that there are times when he is not very enthused by his own decisions, and this, he said, is one of those occasions, saying that he has no alternative but to follow the law.
Regardless of the science, because I'm not a scientist, and even if their science is sound, science has a wonderful history of coming back 10, 20 years later and saying, oops, I was wrong.
My concern is for my business because I have 5 homes that I rent week to week to tenants, and now I need to tell these people that there's been an herbicide placed in this water, and it's supposedly safe for drinking, but we don't really know long-term effect.
Dave, along those lines, that so many people are clearly dissatisfied with the decision of the court today, and even the judge said he doesn't like it, but he has no other choice. Is that of concern? Is that something that weighs on your mind?
Absolutely. This is all I do 12 hours a day, and our biggest challenge has been to get accurate information out to the public. We've held many Zoom meetings, in-person meetings, but we're fighting against, unfortunately, our longtime partner, the Lake George Association, who's put out what we've been concerned with as inaccurate information.
Well, as you can see, and as you know, the summer tourism season is well underway here in Lake George Village. The village is packed under absolutely gorgeous blue skies and wonderful temperatures. These tourists, even if they're locals, they're not aware that the herbicide will be introduced into the lake this coming weekend, because the Lake George Park Commission does have a permit from DEC with an expiration date of this Sunday, which means if it is not applied into the lake by this Sunday, they can't do it at all. And Dave Wick tells me it will be done this weekend. Live in Lake George Village with coverage you can trust, Dan Levy, News Channel 13. Mark, we'll send it back to you.
Dan, thank you. A beautiful day in Lake George.